Hi everybody, Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It's very blue. Hang on, a bit blue in it. Is that? No, it's too blue. Oh, it's still blue. Hope you're safe and well. From you around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, and give it a bloody good subscribe. Hope everyone is safe and well. Hope everyone is having a lovely long weekend for us in the UK. Thursday, Friday, obviously, and tomorrow and Sunday as well. You know, long weekend to celebrate Liz. Is Platinum Jubilee. Anyway, so I was thinking about this the other day, and I just wanted to preface this as sort of an idea, because it was actually, I think it's something that Gatesy did last season, actually, with like individually we'd go on and say we had like 70-80 million quid, now we'd spend it and things like that. Now there's been an absolute crap load of transfer rumours. Good evening, Martin, hope you're well, my friend. We've already started. Let me take that off. There's been an absolute crap load of transfer rumours. I think I've got here, and this isn't the exhaustive list at all. And we're up to about 75 already, and it's the 3rd of June. And no doubt we're going to get a lot more coming. And as I said, it's not exhaustive. I don't think it's even including the ones I spoke about today. The guy from Ipswich, the Wonder Kid. Does it include him? Is it called Jimmy? Is he in there? No, he's not in there. Have I put Diaby in there? No, Diaby's not in there. So about 60. It's about 75 now, 77 now, which is mental. And obviously we had this show the other day where we did sort of keep, win, what was it? Keep, sell, loan as well. And I was just thinking, like, it'd be cool to just get people's opinions in terms of how you would spend it. Everyone's like, oh, we need to buy this striker. Oh, obviously the news that Sonny Perkins has, may well not be here. His contract apparently runs out at the end of this month and he hasn't signed a new one. And people are like, oh, we need Sonny Perkins in. But then in the same breath, we want to buy a striker. Well, surely if you bring a striker in, that's Sonny's position's going to be one down than it would have been anyway, and obviously Yarmolenko going and yada yada yada. So that's what I thought I'd do. And someone asked me the other day, what is our transfer? Okay, right, for this Jeremy Pax, for this idea, the whole purpose is you've got 100 million quid. Just that's the idea. You've got 100 million quid, all right, 100 million quid to spend, and I'll tell you how I would spend it. And obviously this is on West Ham players. It's not just 100 million quid and you're going to go and get a nice house and a boat and da-da-da. And so the idea is you've got 100 million quid. What do you bring in? This is not including free transfers. We did a show about that earlier this week, about maybe the top 5 free transfer signings that I would bring into West Ham. But the idea is for you guys, what you would do. Who would you spend it? Obviously, roughly what areas you want to prioritise, but which players would you get? As if we've been linked with so many people, but which ones do you fancy? Which ones do you want to bring into the club? As I said, I'll go through mine one by one, and I think I've spent about. I reckon and I've been conservative with the prices, because obviously you don't necessarily know how like, no spoilers, but it'll start with me spending money on Areola. By all accounts, 8 million quid in it. So that's roughly what I've gone with. Then the next player, how much I think he would be worth, and you can see what you got in transfer. I haven't really looked at Transfer Market much because I think their prices are very low compared to what they actually go. It's just it's market value rather than the transfer value. But hopefully, give you an idea. Jazza, good afternoon, good evening to you. Hope you're well, my friend. Salmon colour suits you. Suits you, sir. Pink, make the boys week. Yes. I don't know why I put this on today anyway. I did have a West Ham shirt on randomly this afternoon, but I took it off. If I had a chance of owning West Ham with lots of pounds, I'd be signing players right now. There we go. James Yanville, hope you well, man. I'd look at the foreign and domestic and foreign market if I was direct football. Get two centre backs, 1 left back, 1 striker, 1 attacking midfield, and 2 M. Right, okay, James, you got 100 million quid. Who are you going to buy? That's what I want to know. In the chat, you got 100 million pounds. Who are you going to buy? Okay, and I want your transfer list. I want your budget. I want your list. Who you're going to get. Let me put this in here so we can. So let's just put this in case anyone drops in. You've got 100 million quid to spend. Who do you bring in? There we go. Put it on the ticker at the bottom so people can come in. No, I want it as a ticker. Edit that one. It's all go here. There we go. Put that as a ticker at the bottom. And that's the whole idea. So the idea is you've got 100 million quid, right? It's like, fantasy football, literally. The areas you think West Ham should improve in. Who do you spend the money on? Do you go, do you go strikers? Do you go forwards? And we're not talking about. Let me just make this better. That's a bit. God, I had it perfect, and then I started pissing about with it just before I started. What an idiot! Let's go a bit more pinker. Yeah, that'll do. 100 million quid. That's what you got. 100 million quid to spend. What do you spend it on? Who do you spend it on? You see, I'll go through mine. Then we'll go through yours individually. It doesn't include free transfers. So Jazza, I've just seen you've got Tarkowski. He'll be a free transfer. So you might want to take that out. But also add up, and Brownhill will be a free transfer as well. So add it up. Have a quick look. Have a quick think. Put some numbers next to it. All right. So Jazz has put Areola, Hickey, Tarkowski, Phillips, Brownhill, David, and Brozier. Put some numbers to it. David's going to cost you probably 40 million. Brozier's going to cost you about 20 million. That's 60 million quid already. So just let's be realistic. Yeah, 100 million quid. Obviously, the chatter is it could be more than 100 million quid we've got to spend. If Mr. Kredinsky, but obviously I did a show yesterday about his Sean Wheatston had mentioned that did an article about his share price, his share value has plummeted. Royal Mail's plummeted 50%. I think Sainsbury's has plummeted 50% as well. So, but they were looking at about 50 million quid on top of that with him potentially as well. I'd definitely be looking at Brozier. He looks like he will be quality. I'll take you through mine. I'll take you through my thinking. So this is what I would do. So 100 million quid, right? So if I had 100 million quid, the first thing I'd do is buy Areola. All right? It's a bit of a no-brainer. 8 million quid is roughly what we've been led to believe is the actual fee. If that's the case, that's an absolute bargain. Obviously, it's not including wages as well. This is including initial transfer fee. So you've got 100 million quid to spend on transfers. So not including, so we're not going to include the free transfers market here. We're not including signing on fees and things like that and wages. It's literally just on the transfer fee. So that's what I'd start with. Areola, 8 million quid. I think that's a pretty sensible one. I don't know why my little head's popped up. That's better. Pretty sensible. 100 million quid. 8 million quid. Makes perfect sense. We need a goalkeeper. Let's whack him in. After that, again, no surprises. I really think Naif Aguerd could be very, very good for us. And we've seen reports from anywhere between 15 and 30 million quid. So I've gone for like 18 million as sort of a rough estimate. Okay, which I think is not bad. I think, and we need a left-sided. We know we need a left-sided centre-back. I think he's going to be very good. He's a very good ball-playing centre-back. He's got pace on him. I think I think he'll be a great asset to West Ham. And by all accounts, that's going to be the first double. People will see that's the first two signings really, realistically. So again, nothing really groundbreaking there. For me, the areas we need to develop in terms of improve is the goalkeeper, the defender, central defender, left-sided, left back, a midfielder, striker, sort of a forward, wing player, and a striker. So that's 6 players I'd bring in. So we've got Areola, we've got Aguerd. Next up for me, left back. Oh no, I've gone too quickly. Oh shit, I've gone too quickly. Oh no. Oh, I thought I did it all. There we go. That's better. That's it. That's what I'm bringing next. Is David Rahm. David Rahm Hoffenheim. He is mustard. He's 24. He's a left back. He's decent height, 1.8, and I think he would do a fantastic job. In the same way that I saw that Jazz has put in the chat, Hickey would be great as well. This guy, in my opinion, David Rahm, is going to be the next left back for Germany, and I think he would be a very, very good player for us. 32 appearances in the Bundesliga this year, 3 goals, 13 assists, so 16 goal contributions in 32 games. That's 1 in 2. It's 1 in 2. 1 in 2. Very good, Budden. And he is very, 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 very good. And I think he would do a great job for us. And I think we need that left back. We need that first-class left-back, I think. And he brings the assists as well. So for me, that's what I would do. I'd get in Areola. I'd get in Aguerd. I've got to put out Naif. Of course, call him Naif, and I'll get in David Rama as well because I think the three of them will be great starts. Let's see what we've got in everyone else's thing. Jazz has gone. David 35 million, Brozier 20, Hickey, Areola, Aguerd. So Jazza hasn't got any central midfielders, but obviously maybe Brownhill on free transfer could do that. I see he hasn't put Phillips in there now. Maybe Phillips has too much money. Maybe he started adding it all up and he got, actually, I can't get Phillips in. I would sign Areola, Aguerd, and Leslie up front. Saha on the left wing included. His contract's out next season. We could probably get him for 25 million. And Gallagher on loan. Good luck getting Gallagher on loan, Gaz. Good luck Chelsea giving us Gallagher on loan. But you never know. You never know, my friend. Particularly when they've just got brand new investment. They don't necessarily need to get anyone. But great shouts. Yeah, great shouts. Great shouts. Right, so next. So that's three. I'm bringing in 6 players. 6 players? Yeah, 6 players. So we've gone goalkeeper, we've gone centre-back, we've gone left-back. Now my midfielder. I think I need one midfielder because I think we can move the pieces around a little bit in terms of the existing players. So I'm going to bring in. You can't see that because I've just taken it. I'm going to bring in Amadou Onana. Amadou Onana from Lille. 20 years old, he's 195 in terms of height. He's a big lad. Belgium defensive midfielder. Doesn't bring any. I think he only scored 1 goal this season for Ligue 1, but he's a unit. He's a unit. He's that sort of, I remember when we signed Czech Kouyaté and he was like that sort of just domineering centre, defensive midfield. I thought he was very good when he first joined. This guy could easily be at him. I mean, again, he's got, and what I quite like is he's got a connection with David Rahm in the fact that they signed him from. He was at Hoffenheim first, the under-19s. Then he goes to Hamburg, and then he went to Lille. I think he's a really good player, and he's 20 years old as well. So for me, it's about bringing in players who. Arguably, Declan Rice and Thomas Souček, if Thomas Souček's still around, those two are going to be first choice. But this guy could come in and really sort of be a third man option, particularly at defensive midfields, position. So if Declan, there's one game where Souček maybe was out, and Deck could come in, he could do the holding, and Deck could do the marauding maverick forward runs, which he really enjoys. And similarly, if we need to keep it really tight, he can come on and be a defensive midfielder and play sort of 3 in the midfield. I think he's a really good player. Jamie Pax has gone for Areola, James Tarkowski, Tagliafico, McTominay. Allow Souček or Rice to go forward. Ericsson on free, Brozier for 20 million. I haven't included any of the free transfers on this because I'm just going for because I think the likes of, we've done a show the other day. I picked the 5. I think people like Tolisso, people like Belotti. Can't even remember that. I think I had Origi. I think I had Grilic, and actually Grilic came up with a transfer rumour the next day. How we're looking at him, I think he could be a very shrewd free transfer. I don't make lists as it causes hope. Troy's just having a bit of fun on a Friday night, innit? Bit of fun on a Friday night. I'd look at Tete, yep. Sinstera, Tyler Adams, Brozier, and Windal. Windal could be I think he could be a really good player as well. Is it Aaron Windal as well? Tete we were looking at as well. That'd be a free probably because he's out of contract with Lyon at the end of this month, isn't it? I think Ericsson would be a great signing for us. I think I think he'll add so much creativity to the team. Yeah, could do. He'll be 30, won't he? I can see him staying at Brentford, to be honest, but we'll see. So that's what we've gone so far. So we've gone goalkeeper, centre-back, left-back, sort of defensive midfielder, and now we'll move on to our sort of attacking players. So we've got 2 attacking players to complement what we've already got. Good evening, James. Hope you're well, my friend. So we've got those 4. I'm going to go with my next one, which is no surprise. It's Lewis Potter. Keane Lewis Potter. I think he is a rough diamond, not a rough diamond, but he's our next Jarrod Bowen. And actually, we're going to do a show next week about the top 5 championship targets we should be looking at for West Ham, and obviously he'll be appearing in that list. Bit of a spoiler. I think he would offer that left-sided option. It would give obviously maybe sometimes Bowen the option to play up front, which Moyes has said he enjoys watching Bowen as he's our second striker, so to speak. But for me, I think that would bring in, because also, I mean, you look at some of the other 4 players. There's no homegrown talent there, and so I think you need to even it up a little bit. So I think you've got the 4 there, and then I'd bring in Lewis Potter. I just think he would be a absolute great player. And I think we're really excited. Ian's in the chat. Hope you're well, Ian. Darlington have raised £136,000 for next season's budget. Not bad for a fan-owned club. Absolutely mental. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic, Ian, as always. Always good to see Ian on there and see how Darlington's doing. So I think at the moment, how much money have I spent? I should really do the maths, really. But I think I'm on about 8 million plus 18 is 26, plus 25 is 51, plus 15 million is 66, plus 17 million would be 83. So I have 17 million pounds to spend. There we go. And I would spend it on this man. This is the guy I've been banging on about for ages. Taiwo Awoniyi. Or Awoniyi. Taiwo Awoniyi. Yeah. From Union Berlin. This guy to me is Michail Antonio Mark II. This guy is a unit. This guy has had a great season for Union Berlin. 31 games in the Bundesliga, 17 goals, 2 assists. 31 games, 17 goal contributions, and only 1 yellow card for someone who's so big and such a unit. He's had, in all of Union Berlin, I think it's 34% goal participation, which is absolutely crazy. He's up front, he's big, he's stocky, he's been on Liverpool's books since 2015-16 season. I don't know if he actually played. Did he actually play for Liverpool? I don't think he's actually played for Liverpool. Let me quickly have a quick check. But this guy, I think, honestly, would be brilliant for us. And I think he would complement. Has he played? Doesn't look like it. Don't look like it. No, doesn't look like it. But I mean, he's, in terms of experience, he's played, loads of games in Bundesliga, 63 games in the Bundesliga, 20 goals, 4 assists. He's played in the Dutch league. He's played in the, what's that one? I said Johnson's Paints. No, it's the Pro League. It's the Belgium league. He's played, plenty of football, but he's young enough. I think he's 24. I want to say he's 24. I think he's 24. Let me just find the bloody... Yeah, 24. Perfect. I think he would be absolutely brilliant for us. And, we're looking for someone who can replace Michail Antonio. I think the only person who's going to replace Michail Antonio is a younger Michail Antonio. And Teo is that man. Honestly, he really is. And as I said, he's had an absolute storming season for the Bundesliga, for Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. So he would be fantastic, I think. And that would get me around 100 million. Pretty much bang on to the penny. Let's see what we've got in here. Troy says Bissouma, Gallagher, KLP, Milenkovic and Nunes. This makes me sad. That's about 2. I mean, Nunes apparently is up to 100 million quid. That'll blow your budget straight away. Good evening, Chris. Hope you're well. I'll go for Cornet 70 million, Brownhill 10 million. I don't think Brownhill would cost us any money because he'd be a free transfer. I believe so. I think his contract runs out. I'll have a quick look. Josh Brownhill contract. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you're probably right. Actually, yeah, you're right. I thought he was out of contract. That's why. But anyway, maybe he's not. No, he's not. Till 2024. So 10 minutes, so 17, 10. So you're heavily going for what's the name for the old championship relegated teams. So 17, 27, 37. Oh, sorry, got something on. I do apologise. Yeah, I like it. And actually, I think we're going to do a show as well about the top 5 players from relegated sides that West Ham should sign. And you've picked pretty for all of them, to be honest. Signing Lewis Potter would make it 2 successful seasons paying money on the left wing position. True. Martin's gone for, look at this is what I like. This is great. And he's gone for Awani as well. I said 17 million. I think maybe. We've gone for Areola, 8 million. Sven Botman, I like Sven Botman, he's a unit, 22. You've gone for Briga Malin from Rennes for 10 million. Bissouma for 35 million. Awani for 20 million plus 25 plus Lingard on a free and a couple of loans for squad depth. I think that looks quite reasonable. That's probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus Lingard 6, plus a couple of extras, 8 new players. Lovely. Pardon me, Pete. I hope you're well, mate. Hey, good evening to you. I say Bissouma and Gallagher, assuming we got to sell Souček. Well, that's extra money. That's extra money in the pot. Let's assume we, when we did our loan, keep, sell type thing, we'll do that for the midfielders and attackers. Probably next week. Everyone seems to enjoy that, so we'll do that again next week. And you can come on and see if you want to keep him or do the. Not even taking the piss. West Ham should give you a recruitment job because you know so much about the players when most players only know Prem and sometimes Champion. Jamie, I don't know a lot, but I know enough. Does that make sense? I don't watch a lot, but I know bits about some players. Bits about players I like. In all honesty, and I think there's a lot of people on YouTube who do know a lot more than me, to be honest. What about Mavididi? I mean, Mavididi is an interesting one. Stefan Mavididi, formerly of Arsenal, I think he was. I think he used to play for Arsenal. Yeah, I like him. I mean, there's lots like that. There's the guy from Strasbourg, Habib Diallo, which everyone's talking about today for some reason. We're apparently linked with him. There's lots of strikers, but I think it's betting the right one. So you look at the attributes that Antonio has. I think you have to basically, for any striker, you have to have those attributes. So Broja, to that extent, has some of those attributes. He's quite a big lad. He holds up the ball, but he hasn't got that pace. That Antonio lightning pace, and I think it's quite hard to find someone bulky and has pace. I think Teowa does, but I think we would have to. I think he includes when they sold him because he originally played for Liverpool. He was on Liverpool's books. And they sold him. He went on loan to Hamburg and various others, and then he went to Union Berlin. I think on loan initially. Was it on loan? Let me have a look. I think it was on loan initially, and then they sold him on a free. Yes, he was on loan. God, he's been on loan for quite a few clubs. Went on loan to Frankfurt, then he went to the Dutch League, then Mouscron, then Ghent, and then Mons, and then Union Berlin. He went initially on loan, and then they bought him for just under £6 million. Whoa, that's a bit of a bargain. I think Broja's. I don't think he has got that explosive pace. That sort of when Antonio's on it, and just he can really terrorise defenders with that pace, and that's what I don't think Broja has as much. But he's only 20, so he's not going to develop another 3 or 4 extra yards pace, but. So that's why I think with all these players, you've got to think with a striker, you sort of, in the same way that a lot of players, when you see his transfers, you go, that was bollocks. That one's you could see because he's young, you sort of you're mentally ticking the boxes in your head. And I think for some of them, you look at the strikers, that's why I was surprised me about El Nesri until I saw him live, because my assumption was El Nesri was always quite a small bloke. He weren't. He's about 6'2", isn't he? He's quite he puts it about a little bit. You can see why Moyes likes him. I'd like Bissouma or Gallagher in the midfield to replace Souček. I think if that happened, I I don't really believe the papers until anything happens, really, as always. But if we sold him, then I think you'd have to go out and buy a Bissouma. You'd have to go out and buy a Phillips, someone like that to play in that position. Maybe Gallagher's a bit more, slightly more advanced in terms of his positioning. Maybe I think someone like Bissouma would fit in there quite nicely. But we'll see. Yeah, fair enough. I think you only have that sort of explosive place you're built like Adama also has it. He does. Actually, we were linked with, was it Adamu? Adamu from RB Salzburg. He's rapid. He's a rapid player. Jonathan David's is quick over the ground as well. I think that's what you need. Particularly our game is counter attacking. So for you need that. You need that when that's what I think we just lack. We've got sort of the pace. I mean, Bowen's quick. He's not lightning, but he's quick. Antonio's quick. On the left side, not so much. Ben Rama has that pace. That I think that's why someone like Lewis Potter would be really good on the left hand side. And those three, in terms of an attacking threat going forward, you wouldn't mind that. I mean, you look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool with their current front three, although that could well be could maybe. Maybe Mane might be going to Bayern Munich or whatever, but at present that is a bit of a fast front three. And then they can interchange with Diaz and Jota, and they can move it all around. That's what I think you ideally want. The Salzburg look really rapid. He's very, very quick, but 60 million, would we pay that? I don't think so. I think the Salzburg guy is 20. I'm just going to look here because I try and keep my notes in case things come up again. I mean, Dennis is quick, isn't he? Dennis is quite quick. Just out of curiosity, what about... Yeah, I mean, we did a show, Martin, on a Thursday. Was it Thursday? We did a show on Thursday where basically I went through my top 5 free transfers. Yeah, it was Thursday, the 2nd, wasn't it? Yeah, yesterday. My top transfers. It was 5 free transfers West Ham should sign, and Belotti was my number one. I think for a free transfer, regardless of what anyone thinks, I think he'd be absolutely brilliant. We go back and watch it, Martin. You can go back and watch. It's a beautiful thing with YouTube. You can watch whatever. Today we did a thing about stats. The season stat was. We went through some really nice stats of this season we just had. What a good season it was. And the first time we did this, the first time we did that, and that type of thing. Really cool. And then we did some Hammers headlines at 5 o'clock, as we always do, with some great little rumours. Is rapid, but it would cost about 55 million. Yep. And we spoke about that today, actually, at 5 o'clock. I think Newcastle are willing to pay 50 million quid, which would obviously be their transfer record as well as our transfer record. Jeez, I'm a differ. I finally decided on Pope for 15 million. So you've gone for Pope rather than Areola. Interesting. Forget Bellend Belotti, says Epic. We don't need a lazy Italian. I don't think he'd be lazy. I think he'd be... But it's your opinion. We'll wait and see. He'll be going somewhere. That's for sure. Because Torino haven't announced he's signing a new contract, and so yeah, he'll probably be going somewhere. But whether for realistically, it's his last payday. It's a bit like Jesse. It's Jesse's last payday, really. So they're going to take time on making their right decision, both for their career but also for their wallet as well, because it's their job, isn't it? So and that's the trouble with the free transfer market. I think it's eventually the transfer market is actually eventually going to go one way, where it's like very much like the American setup, in that a lot of players, there's not as many transfers as in terms of money. It's trades, or it's players basically seeing out their contracts and signing sort of free agents type contracts, and that obviously we had so many of them this year, so many free transfers this year, in terms of people who have out of contract. I think that will eventually be the norm, and you'll have most people, players would be seeing at their contract, because for them it's more beneficial, isn't it? Realistically, they get, the signing on fee, in essence, the transfer fee is paid to them rather than necessary to a club. So I think you'll see that quite often. Is there a player we've been linked with that you think will get the players, the fans off their seats a bit like Payet did? Diaby. I think Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen would do. I really think he would do. Because I can see, because he has the pace, but for 60 million, we're not going to get him for that. As I said right at the beginning, we've been linked with, and this is not an exhaustive list. This list is one I've just sort of curated recently. And we're up to 75 players, and I've got another 2 to add to that from today's show, so 77. Obviously, some of these have already gone. Hrosek has gone to Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, Kamara's gone to Aston Villa, and various, and I think that's probably it at the moment in terms of people who have moved elsewhere. Joe Worrell probably won't be moving now. Actually, Ward-Prowse should be. That's for some reason that should be hyphenated. In terms of off their seats, I think the likes of. Troy just said Bio could be interesting. I could see, for me, someone like Teo, as we've said just now. I think Lewis Potter could get them off the seats as well. But then we haven't really had anyone like that. Bowen gets you off the seat occasionally, Ben Rama occasionally, but not on every time they had it. That's a very special player, and that's a player which doesn't come around very often. Since sort of before Payet, was probably Di Canio who did that, maybe Joe Cole to some ideas. But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they come with a premium, these guys. And also they come with a caveat as well, in that you want some, in terms of players, they have to do it consistently and maintain the ball as well. It's okay being brilliant and doing these great tricks and being fantastically skillful, but if it doesn't work within the confines of the team, then it doesn't. I don't know how Payet would fit in the David Moyes system. He may do, but he wouldn't track back. So there you go. What we got here? Yep, and Belotti for 50 million. I'm really speeding along there. So you've got 2 players. Well done. He wants an understudy to Antonio now. That's what I think Aouani could be in. I think he could be our understudy. So I doubt we'll get Belotti. Yeah, Bayo, if they sell him cheap. Yeah, Bayo's a good player, Mohamed Bayo. I think he's going to leave. Can't remember the club he plays for there, but it's in Liga. But I think he'll be leaving this year. Irish Tommy, good evening to you, sir. Which position do you think is vital we have new starters in next season? Well, as I said, I've gone through in terms of my selection. So that's in terms of who I want. Oh, hello. Oh, God, I might be joined by someone. Lovely. So I went with a goalkeeper. I've gone with the left-sided centre-back, which I think those are critical. I've gone for a left-back as a new starter. I think Cresswell's coming to the end of his career at West Ham. I've gone for that sort of central midfielder, but maybe not even a first-teamer, because at the moment, it's me, Souček, and Declan Rice are two of the boys. And then, in terms of the forwards, I've gone with Lewis Potter and Teo Aouani. So for me, that's... I could see Lewis Potter starting on the left side with Bowen on the right side. I quite like that. That gives you some balance. But what do you think, Tommy? What do you think, man? What do you think? Evening.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
I thought we were supposed to be doing it together, and I totally forgot. Apologies.
Don't matter. It's all right. Don't worry. My back's hurting.
What's happening?
What's happening? Not much, man. No, I hurt my back. It's a bit hurt a little bit. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So basically, we're spending 100 million quid. Yep. Fantasy Football League, but for West Ham, you've got 100 million quid to spend. What do you spend? Oh, God. What do you spend it on? What do you spend it on?
My word.
My word, indeed. So that's the idea.
Mil.
Yeah. So we've got and James is literally buying one player every 20 minutes. It seems he's like, and then I might buy Pope.
So with the 100 mil, we don't include free transfers, of course.
No, we don't include free transfers. We don't include obviously the signing on fees or anything like that. No. It's just literally the transfer paid. So 100 million on transfer paid. In terms of. So and again, it's like a bit. Obviously, it's a bit subjective. I mean, I've bought 6 players for 100 million quid, which I think I've done quite well. And I might have maybe actually realistically only be able to afford 4 of them, maybe, because actually maybe Lewis Potter might be 25 million instead of 17 million, but that's what roughly, and Naif maybe 30 million rather than 18 million, that type of thing. But it's just to see what areas people, because obviously people say, oh yeah, we should sign this one. And I was talking about, obviously Sonny Perkins as well. Obviously, he's going to be out of contract at the end of the month and might move and then people go, oh, we should keep him, definitely keep him. And in the next breath, they want to buy a forward. Well, if you buy a forward, then Sonny Perkins is going to get less game time, isn't he? Realistically. So it's like it's almost like this seesaw. You want players to come through from the academy, but then at the same time, you want guys who are going to go straight into the first team. So it's not a finite.
Well, have you got a centre mid? Did you choose a centre mid?
Yeah. So I went with, where is it? So I went with this. So I've gone. So these are sort of the defender midfield. Yeah. Well, I mean, sort of defenders type thing. So you've obviously got Areola. 8 million quid's roughly what they've been saying he's going to be signing on fee, or in terms of what we're going to sign him from PSG. You've got Neo for about 18 million. That could be anything from 18 to 15 to 30, really. The one I'm spending a lot of money on is David Rahm, because he's a left back, and I think he's 20. Is he 22? What is he? 22, 24, 24. But he would be. I mean, he's going to be Germany's new left back eventually. He's quality from Hoffenheim. And then I've got Amadou Onana from Lille, who's defensive midfielder, a unit. Bit like, I mean, he's almost 2 meters tall. He's a bit like Cheku Kiarte. Let's be honest. That sort of really, and I think he's a he's and also he can play centre back as well. But he basically is a defensive midfielder. So that's what I've gone with, and then I've gone with my 2 attackers. Just to, I've gone for Lewis Potter, and then I've gone for my boy Teo Awani, because he's Mikel Antonio Mark II. Yeah, but he scores. 31. He's played 31 Bundesliga games this season. He scored 15 goals and 2 assists. Yep. So not bad. 17 goal contributions in 31 games in the Bundesliga. He ain't bad. He ain't shabby Alonso at all.
That's a good list. There's 3 players there. There's 3 players there I would take. It's my 100 mil, so of course,
pick you up.
I like your 100 mil though. I like your 100 mil.
Yeah,
you've got more players probably than what I would get from my 100 mil. So I'd take Lewis Porter, 100%. Yeah. I think he would be a great challenger down the other side, and if he can grow into anything similar to what Jared Bowen could do, I think that's the reason why we're kind of looking at him, because he seems to remind us of that that kind of type of player, and especially going down the other side. And if you add that kind of threat down that side and keep the majority of what we've got, then we're just adding strength after strength in that area of the park. And including into that, any free transfers we bring in, like Jesse Lingard and stuff like that, like that's like Lewis Potter, young, enthusiastic, who we think can make the step up. Add to that all the other players we've got as well. So yeah, I'm 100% there. So I'll take the 17 mil. He's gone 17 mil for Lewis Potter. I'll agree with you on Aguerd, because it looks like it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you put him down for. Is that 18?
18, yeah. I think that's sort of a fair middle ground for him, I think.
So I'm at 35.
Yeah.
I'm then going to go 8 mil.
Areola,
yeah.
43, yeah.
43. And I'm going to put a big 40 mark on the next player. This is the one I really do want. And if you are watching tomorrow morning, you're going to get a bit of an insight into him. Conor Gallagher.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, 40 mil.
40 mil. Now, he came on my radar, and you'll see it when I do the video tomorrow, when he was at West Brom.
Yeah.
And he came on my radar because he played against us and he played really well. Really well. And then he's just lit the Premier League up for Crystal Palace. The situation Chelsea are in, of course, is that they've got players in abundance. They've had a big takeover. They've got a lot of money. Well, not within reason, they've got money. And I just don't know if he's going to go back there and fill the gap that they're looking for. I really can't see it. He's going to want game time, Russ.
I know he's going to want game time. It's that whole World Cup thing as well, isn't it? It's the World Cup year, so
yeah.
I could see him. Yeah,
he really is box to box.
Yeah,
he is like he's like he would complement our midfield really well. He would be very different. He would be different to Mark Noble, but offer us something brand spanking new because he can really be creative, but equally really defensive. I don't know if you saw that random clip that England put out of Jack Grealish waiting to receive a ball in training, and he's standing and he's wide open, and the ball gets fed through to him, and out of the blue, it's like a cartoon moment. This player slides in, collects the ball, stands up, moves forward, and drives forward, and that's exactly what he does. You know, So I reckon a 40, even maybe less. To be honest, I mean, I know a lot of people are saying 50 mil, 40 mil, maybe less could tempt the fate because he's a young Premier League proven now, you could say, lad. Yes, he's an England international, but he's not really probably not going to step into that Chelsea team with what they've got in the middle of the park. Well, so what does that leave me? Yeah,
I think you're on about, I don't know. I think you're on. Also, I think with him as well. He has to. He's not going to break into that Chelsea side, particularly when they've got 200 million quid to spend as well, isn't it? So he's not going to be spending that. They're going to be wanting to spend that money, and particularly, the big bosses are going to want him to spend the money on Galactico type players as well. I imagine to improve the club, improve the how it's perceived. Yeah.
And so as Tommy said, there you could do a double raid on Chelsea for Gallagher and Broja. But I don't know what we would have to offer in order to do that. I mean, maybe a cheeky offer, 50, 60 million for the two. I mean, Broja's, if you look at stats, if you build your whole philosophy on signing players on stats, then they're not phenomenal in terms of goals scored and assists. Yeah. It's what he looks like he could do for West Ham. So I reckon you could probably get him on a cheaper deal than what's potentially touted. So you never know, Russ. You could put 50 or 60 mil down and get Broja and Gallagher. And do you know what, Tommy? I may agree with you on that, actually. I may just go all out and do that. I don't know what I've spent.
We've spent 40, 50, 57, 50... I don't know. Where's my calculator? It's quarter to 11, that's why. Usually I'd have it smashed.
I think I'm 8 mil over, aren't I?
I don't know. 8 plus 18 plus 40 plus 17. You're on 66.
What? No, 76. No.
8
40,
plus
50,
18
60.
plus 40. Yeah, sorry, yeah, 70. 83, isn't it? 83?
83, yeah. So just put that 17 mil into Broja and we'll get 57 mil. We'll get us Broja as well. I'm going to call it a double bid of 60 mil.
Double bid. Okay, we'll put
57.
Ambrosia, 57. Yeah, 57 million. Yeah. Oh, there we go. 57 million for the pair.
Epic. I know we can't get those players on that price, mate. Where is that comment? I do, mate. I do agree with you. The point I'm trying to make is, well, you don't know. I think the point of the matter is that Chelsea, is Broja going to go in and set the Premier League alight with Chelsea?
No.
I don't see it. Not with the war chest, because they've got a war chest. Lukaku might be going back to Inter Milan. I don't see it, Russ.
Yeah.
Do I see Conor Gallagher going back in there and turning it up for Chelsea? I don't see it, mate. They need other clubs. And I think the other clubs is potentially clubs like West Ham or whatever. And we're not going to sign 50 million. We're talking about who's 50 million in the Premier League that's been a success. I'm just trying to work it out in my head. Like, what was Aki? What was Aki?
40. He was like 40 something million, weren't he? Aki. I think Aki was about 40 odd million.
And that's Man City. And that's Man City.
Well,
Paying
no,
over
that's
the
the thing.
odds.
And Man City can do that. They can spend 40 million on a punt, on a so no one else gets him type signing. No, he actually, sorry, he went for 20, 40 million, 41 million, it reckons here.
Yeah.
Is that right? Oh, yeah, it just says it. Yeah. Although I did notice that West Ham's one of our many 75 people that we've been, Memphis Depay scored 2 tonight against Belgium.
The Dutch are back on form and smashed Belgium.
Yeah, and Aki played in that game as well. Speaking of that,
but what's cool about doing these shows is you're spending your money and look at the quality that's out there. Then you add the free players who have got quality, and you can actually build up a good amount of quality players that will absolutely add to our squad. And the thing is, as well, about that, Russ, is that, I mean, depends on what story you want to read here, there, and everywhere, but we'll be bringing players in. I've got no concerns about that.
Oh yeah, I've no concern. But how many is the concern? But I've no concern there will be new faces in there. Although for me, it's like the thing about, and I think Peter Jones said that a bit earlier on, he almost doesn't treat Areola as a new signing because he's sort of already there. And you're right, it's sort of £8 million to stand still. Realistically, because he was on loan the previous year, and he's a permanent goalkeeper, hopefully soon. But it's sort of like there's no improvements to the squad from last year because he was already in the squad from last year. But that's the nature of the loan deals. I think there'll be some more loan deals with obligation to buy coming through as well. There's going to be a lot of players needing game time, wanting game time. I mean, even like Colin Gallagher, I could see him being loaned out again to a Premier League side, rather than being sold. And actually, it's not the West Ham way, but we said before, Areola, there's nothing to stop us. Actually, we do have the option to go with another year's loan for Areola. Yeah.
It's just the thing with Conor Gallagher is he's an England international, so I think that Chelsea may look at getting as much as they possibly can for him. Yeah. And there'll be clubs out there that will pay over the odds, but it'll also be a decision based upon what he wants to do, where he wants to grow as a footballer. Does he continue his England international career at a Southampton, at a Crystal Palace? Or does he take the punt, come to a club like West Ham, who for 2 years have been, consistent? And I think we are a good catch now for that type of player. I do believe it. Where 2 years ago, Russ, we may have struggled to bring in that quality.
Well, I mean, you look at the likes of 2 years ago. We were looking at Dushletkar, we were looking at Tarkowski, and both of them were like, "Fuck off, we don't want to come. I don't want to come West Ham." But they weren't issuing sort of "come get me, please." But then their eyes were turned, their heads were turned because we are more attractive side. We are in Europe, albeit the conference. Well, we're not even in the group stage yet, but we are potentially in Europe again, group stages again next season. We should be, to be honest. And the club is improving, and you can see, we're scoring goals. We scored. I think I did the thing this afternoon, stats and things like that, and you look at the goals since Moyes has come back in. I think last season, we scored about 75 goals. I think this season we scored over 80 goals, albeit with extra games being played because of Europe. But still, I think the previous season under Pellegrini, we didn't score that many, and so we are playing attractive football. We've scored at home in the league in every game for the first time since 83-84, the first time in the top league since 2019, 26, 27. So for me, it's they're an exciting time. And as you said, with Bowen getting into the England squad, that's a huge thing because they're gone. Actually, we're getting these players in now.
I think apart from the fact that we're in some form of European, well, hopefully going to be in some form of European competition this year, the league is all about trying to break that top. It'd be nice to. For me, a big thing would be, yes, we want to win the cup.
Yeah,
absolutely, we want to win a cup. But breaking into that top four has that's been a few years now. 2016, 2020, and 2021, we have been there or thereabouts. So in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been very close to the top four. And now I'm starting to get to that point where I'm like, I really fucking want that top four now. I really want to be in that draw for the Champions League and have that anthem and feel what it's like to be there. And I feel like we can. And I think this is the for me, it is the signings, it is the strength and depth now. It's what we can get in that can add value immediately into the first team, and what the strength and depth is that can change things. But I do think Antonio is going to be a main feature next year. I do.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're not gonna divert too much from type. We're not. And so I mean that's why I think for me it's like the only person who could replace Antonio is Antonio, and so that's why when I look at the strikers we've been linked with, for me they have to exert certain qualities that Antonio has, strength and pace, and hope and unlike Antonio, someone who is a natural forward as well, rather than necessarily a winger. So it's interesting because there's so many players we've been linked with, and there's so much potential. You can go one way or another. You could even go bloody old school. It would never be, but you could go old school championship manager. We just get all like Tottenham do. They've just got Perisic, haven't they? Or he's 33. He's a great player, but he was great about 5 years ago. Really, they're going sort of old school. It's almost like championship manager. You get these guys who are about 5 years past their sell-by date, but you get them all in as a free transfer. And there's so many free transfers available. It's just ridiculous at the moment.
It really is. But the thing is, the free transfers, there's actually quality there. A lot of quality.
Yeah.
More than there's been in a long time. So, I mean, we know we need to add. And if we... Listen, we'll spend some money. Just don't know how much it will be. And but
you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be money spent. I think how much. I mean, that's why I said 100. Honestly, I think probably 100's probably like the average of all the of how much we've been told we're going to spend. It seems about 100's like the average. It could go up to 150 if Danny Krajinski puts his hand in his pockets. But then he's lost half his value on Royal Mail shares. He's lost half his value on the Sainsbury's shares in the last year. So, who knows? Because obviously everyone's gone back, in terms of COVID, they're not getting as many packages and they're going, and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then there was a talk of him financing that extra money with loans, and I don't know. It's all a bit dodgy.
I just think though, like it's an opportunity now, not just even on the field but off the field. Like you're talking about. Like making money, the club, in order to make money, like we used to have this great marketing campaign where they would like get rid of all the tops. Like the home and away shirts should be right on the sale, properly, like 60-70% off, 80% off. Get them out the door, release the new top for the end of the season, get people buying it, and bring that. That's what you.
Why don't people do that anymore? Why is we used to have? Do you remember the last game of the season was always the new top.
Yeah, but no, a lot of the top 5 do it. Like Man City have already released their top and it's out on sale. Yeah. Like I know that's Man City. I'm just saying, it's just a big thing all round. But
yeah, because we got the it was the thing on like Instagram and stuff like the new kit is coming, and and so you had like a team of, I think there was 4 of them, like by the shadows. One was definitely Declan Rice, one was definitely Bowen, and. Yeah, it's like be the first to know when the new kit's out. It's like, just release it. Just release it. Just get Matt Jarvis to eat it with a bowl of cereal. He still hates that. When you talk to him about it, he hates that discussion. No one else did it apart from him.
Yeah, but again, though, like to remind fans as well, when you watch YouTube channels, ours included, when you look at Twitter. Ours included. When you look at Facebook, ours included. When you watch all the news outlets, that's everyone included. You could read a story one day and it can be completely flipped over on its arse the next day. Yeah. The same story, the same situation. So, 1 minute we've got 250 mil to spend, the next minute we've got 100 mil to spend, the next minute we've got no one to spend, the next minute Moyes wants to sign depth. He says it a lot in his press conference. However, suddenly people within the club say he only wants a couple of players, and then the next minute it's just Antonio, and then it isn't Antonio, and that list there is a an example of what
Yeah, and that's not latest because there's a couple of guys
Yeah.
that I did at Hammers headlines I haven't put on there yet. So
Yeah.
you're looking at about 7. So we're not going to side. We're not going to side all them. You know, I tell you one that surprised me in terms of hasn't really had a lot of press coverage is Tielemans.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking this guy is quality,
He's
and
a quality player.
and if he's available for 50 million quid or whatever, he probably less, like 40 million maybe. Why aren't people chomping at the bits to get him? Because he should be, maybe not, maybe even at West Ham. We've been linked to him, but you don't see a lot of press coverage about him. In terms of teams looking at him, and I don't understand why, because he's absolutely mustard.
The thing is, though, isn't the market not open? It's not open yet.
No, it's not. It's not. I think got another week. I don't think it opens till I think it's the 10th of June. I want to say. I don't know exactly. I know. Yeah, I know. Mike, and I know Arsenal are looking at him, but you think he would be someone that the top 4 clubs, to be honest, Man United would be after him, particularly if they don't get De Jong from Barcelona, which they might not do because he might ask for too much money. Arsenal, Spurs, potentially, Chelsea have got an ageing midfield. Jorginho's not going to be around forever. But yeah, no, it's just interesting. I think we'll do our thing next week about the top 5 players from relegated clubs, Anton. I think that'll be, it's pretty much going to be, Cornet.
Dennis was like one of the first names that was linked to us, and now it feels so yesterday.
Yeah, he has.
Talk about him, but
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it does. It does. That shows you how many links we've had. And Cornet from Burnley is definitely got some form of ability, but these 2 players have only really been in the Premier League for 1 season, so maybe it's I don't know. I do like them. I just don't know if Moyes will go for them.
I think it's a tough one for me because I think there's for me, Cornet, is he going to really, is there going to be much of a, I don't know, you think we sort of in that department we're sort of okay, really. I don't know. It's just I'd rather spend money elsewhere, to be honest. I mean, there's going to be, I think there's going to be an article in the Sun tomorrow, if not, it was in today, that about us going back in for Calvin Phillips. So yeah.
But if the rumours are true from the winter, then we are interested in Calvin Phillips. We're interested in Rafinha. Rafinha won't come because it looks like he's going Barcelona. But if we're led to believe it's true, then unless it's this phantom bid, because it's not come out to say it wasn't true, it's come out to say it was pretty much like we were interested in Calvin Phillips, and so they're going to still have that. We wouldn't have lost that interest in him, unless Leeds have just turned around and gone, you need to give 100 mil.
Well, I think that's the trouble when you put a price tag on one person. When you say it's going to be 150 million quid to get Declan Rice, then people will go, okay, well, based on that judgment, you then must rate our player at 100 million because you think he's, it's a strange thing to put price tags on people's heads like that.
And this comment though, this comment from Jammy Packs, I know there's other comments there.
Yeah,
I get it. I get that it is, but they've always been there. They always have been there. And I always bring up that West Ham used to release a magazine called Hammers News that I used to get religiously every month. I used to get it all the time. And do you ever remember Russ used to get the posters in the middle as well? And I used to have them up all over my room. So I used to get the Hammers News, and I think I've got quite a lot of the copies, and I actually think I'll try and look them out and show you them live on a screen. And they had a gossip section, and West Ham's own magazine had a gossip section, and in that gossip section, they would link themselves with a particular player. And at the time when Gabriel Batistuta was playing for Fiorentina, and he was the Argentinian top-notch guy, West Ham report in their own magazine that Batistuta was linked to West Ham.
And Anton, that is a show. Retro rumours. That's it. We just, I just don't know where I get them from. They just pop into my. But that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Good shout. I like it.
He's
getting it down. He's getting his notes.
I always write retro rumours. That'd be really funny, I think. That'd be really funny. Retro rumours.
I think
what could have been?
Yeah, you're right, though. But they are always there, and they are always
Yeah.
thereabouts. And please bear with us when we talk about them, because we always stipulate that we're looking at them and seeing if we think they'll work or not. I'm never going to turn around and say to you, I'll always say it's reports or suggesting or
Yeah, exactly.
we're led to believe and all that sort of stuff. So.
And I think that's what. And again, that's what I think. We're trying to just do things a little bit differently as well at the moment, because otherwise we could just be sitting here just reading off 27 transfer rumours every day. So we try
West Ham in for Gallagher.
Yeah, in for this one, and then West Ham in for this, every day. And I think you'd get a bit bored. So that's why we're trying to do like the keep, loan, sell stuff. Sort of looking inwards rather than looking outwards. Doing these top five. So rather than necessarily people we're linked with, people that we should be looking at, maybe a bit of a profile about them.
Well, here we go then.
Stuff like that.
Where are we linked to Tommy Soucek? Who reported it? Where did it come out from? We got him in. Sufal, where did it come from? We got him in.
Areola. Well. Yeah.
I mean, it's so everyone we've named, we're not signing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true for me. I always find it exciting because I love transfer window deadline day. I know we never sign anyone really, but I find it exciting. It's from even when I was young, when the transfer window was in properly. I remember I'd take the day off work. Because I'd have I'd be at work with like all the different things. And I just loved it as a spectacle. I love the fact that on the BBC website they used to have this little you could text in your think people you've seen, and I've just seen Neymar get off a plane at I don't know. Manchester. Yeah, my brother used to work at the airport, so he'd say, "Oh, I think I've just seen Bob," and you haven't. Thank you, Jamie. There we go. We're always welcome to any ideas. If anyone has any ideas, as always. Apparently, you're right. Our owners are on holiday. David Sullivan, he's on holiday at the moment with Tamika. They're having a lovely time, it seems. A Jet 2 holiday for some reason. Why they're on Jet 2 holidays, I do not know. But anyway, fair enough. Tommy was right, yeah, exactly. We were when he was 16 from Santos.
Yeah.
16 million quid, I think we were going to pay him.
But do you know what? We opted for Savio, mate. We opted for Savio, so it's okay.
We opted for Savio. That worked out well, didn't it? That worked out very well. But I think retro rumours would be brilliant. I think it'd be really funny.
It would be, yeah. It would be.
It would be really funny. We'd have to look through back.
Some ridiculous. Some ridiculous links.
Yeah, because Batistuta, and that'd be quite funny, and Neymar, and we were after. Obviously, we had what's name on we had Shevchenko on played reserve team game, didn't he? Yeah. And Marcelo Salas as well. We had him, and I think he got injured getting on the plane or something ridiculous like that. That'd be quite funny. Rafinha's agent is Deco Barca, so Rafinha's going to Barcelona anyway. There's no two ways about it.
I just think it's exciting, but it depends on. Take things with a pinch of salt, but it is an exciting time. I think we've just got to remain positive. There's plenty of players out there. There's plenty of freebies out there. I think we're going to maximise that freebie market, and then
I think everyone will maximise that freebie market. And as I said, I think it's the way football going to go. I think eventually.
But I think there's only a couple of clubs that might be able to cherry pick. If I'm being honest, though, with that free market, so I think really Newcastle, they'll have a reasonable pick of a bunch. I think West Ham will be up there. I think a lot of players will see what Aston Villa are doing in terms of throwing money, and a lot of players will make a wrong move to Aston Villa for the wrong reasons, and it won't work out. What's happening at Aston Villa right now reminds me of Pellegrini.
Yeah, definitely throwing money at it, innit? Yeah, I totally agree. You look at, when the Kamara deal came in, and you saw that he'd rejected Atletico Madrid. You're like, Jesus! So straight away you knew that he'd put a lot of money in, and he had, and then you see like Diego Carlos from Sevilla, and I was like, wow, he's a great player. And that's 200 million 20 grand, 200 grand a week he's on as well. So it's just ridiculous the amount of money going in, they're spending. And I don't know where they're going to get it. Surely it must mean that the likes of, the likes of Ollie Watkins, the likes of, Buendia. I mean, these types, they've got Coutinho as well, and he's going to be on a pretty penny as well. So there's a hell of a lot of players there. You're thinking they're going to have to balance their books, surely.
It is a kind of, they've gone all in, really, haven't they? Or are going all in. So it's go for hell for leather, try and do something this year. But if they don't do it this year, it goes tits up. Then it doesn't work out, and they pay for it for seasons to come. Which is what happened under the Pellegrini era, because we tried to go at it.
We went for it and it didn't work. Yeah. And they're not bringing in like squad players. They're bringing first teamers. So Carlos will go in as a first teamer. You'll have Kamara will probably be going in as a first teamer, especially on 180 grand a week. You fucking will. And also Coutinho. So Coutinho was there already, but still, that's going to really, it could unsettle players as well. And I think when you come in at such a big wage, the likes of Ollie Watkins, the likes of these players can say, Martinez. They can say, I want all money now, and it doesn't help people. Also, I saw that we were talking about yesterday, the other day, with keep, loan, and sell. Ben Johnson, 90 minutes for England, left back.
Yeah, absolutely,
today.
Huge for him.
2-1.
Yep, I think it's amazing. I love the guy. So
interesting that he's played 90 minutes at left back.
Yeah,
fair play. I didn't even realise. I even forgot about Max Aarons in terms of being a right back as well. That's another right back we're never going to get in. He does dither. We know Moyes dithers, but I think it's select. I think it's.
Does he? Does he dither though?
I don't know. I don't know if it's dithering. I just think it's. I think we assume he's dithering because, like,
maybe he dithers on team substitutions.
Yeah,
but does he? I don't know. Like, when it comes to signings, Russ, he has told us week in and week out, I won't buy someone for the sake of it.
Yeah.
To me and you, we think, why the fuck are we not signing this player? Why the fuck are we not signing that player?
Yeah, we dither and we say, why has he got Kamara? Well, the fact is, Kamara's gone. To be honest, Kamara's probably gone to the club for money. He hasn't gone for necessarily football reasons. I think if you go for football reasons, you go for Atletico Madrid. You've got Diego Simeone as your manager. You're in the Champions League or Europa League. You're definitely in European competition. He's gone to Villa for money. That's it. So maybe he hasn't passed the Moyes' MOT test. So, we know these jobs. We know, agents and they know that these players are going to be having these bids and these offers and obviously they pick and choose the ones to compete with and the ones to get involved with. I don't necessarily think it's dithering. I think he's very selective, and as you said, like the things like Souček, Bowen, Soufal, Areola, there was no, or Bowen a little bit of noise, but there was no noise with Souček, no noise with Soufal, no noise with Areola. Even Benny, there wasn't much noise, and it was like there was a little bit of rumour, then we got him. Do you know what I mean? So it's when he picks who he wants, he goes for it.
Yeah.
But it might just take a time to pick who he wants. But I think that's being selective and not being funny. Even if he had all fucking 75, 77 players thrown at him since, even that's going to take time to go through and go analyse and look at, and obviously that's Rob Newman's job.
Yeah. Well, listen, players are on holiday. The transfer market's not open. Man, we've got plenty of time. I mean, I've seen people go mental because we didn't get Holozic over the line.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we didn't get him over the line. We could have got them over the line, but we didn't. And I don't know if maybe he thought he was a bit too lightweight. That could have been one of the reasons. He's young, yeah. He does look all right. But who's he gone to?
Bayern Leverkusen.
Bayern Leverkusen. I mean, we just got to.
But for me, but it's not like we haven't had the opportunity to look at him or talk about him. Souček's talks, he said he's going to be one for the future, and so, no doubt he's been scouted, particularly with Danny Kudrinski coming in. Apparently he was offered to us on loan, and he didn't, and Moyes didn't fancy it. Fair enough, you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's, for me, it's, I do trust Moyes, and I do trust him. At the end of the day, there's a reason why he's He's going. He's probably having a nice holiday at the moment. Not sat in front of a computer talking about people we should be signing at 11:10 on a Friday night. There's a reason why he's. You know what I mean?
Here's a question for you, Russ, and a question for everyone in the chat. Right. So possibly this time last year, we were sitting doing shows like this, and it was about at what point do you panic in terms of the transfer window? So as this preseason went on, we came up to the Celtic game, and I was like, if we haven't brought someone else in by that point, I'll be worrying. That it was coming up to the start of the season, I was like, if we haven't brought someone else in, I'll be worrying. That it was 3 games in before the transfer window shut, I'll be like, if we haven't brought someone else in, then I'm worried. And then look at the season panned out. So I know we need to bring strength and depth, but for me, the question I'm asking to you is, what's the bare minimum you'll accept, and at what stage do you panic?
For me, I think, the Premier League kicks off. I looked at this today. I think it's the 6th of August. I think that's the first game. So Betway Cup will be the week before.
So you've got 2 months.
So you got 2 months. So Betway Cup is the week before. In all honesty, for the types of players we're looking to bring in, in terms of that left-sided centre back, in terms of the goalkeeper, those two are going to be starters, really. I want them in where early July, I'd say. Because they need time to bleed to sort of breed into the because we're going to be having to go first week in August. So I would say if we haven't signed, I think Naif and Areola will sign. I think they will sign early after the window opens. But then it's the rest. So, as I said, panic stations, if we haven't signed anyone by the first week in July, I'm going to say, the initial panic stations. And then it'll start getting worse and worse.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we need to really have Areola and Aguerd over the line before the...
I'm not even necessarily bothered about Areola in, but for me, it's about getting Aguerd in. Because we need him in, because it's that relationship, and that needs time to gel, and not just a relationship with Zuma, but a relationship with Cresswell, or maybe another Ben Johnson, or maybe another. Maybe it is Tagliafico, maybe it is Rahm. There's a lot of good left backs out there. Whether it is anyone else, but for me, he's central to that team next year, and getting him on August the 31st. That's not going to help us, because don't forget everyone fucks off 2 months later after that. And so you've lost a month, and then you can get a bit going for 2 months. Then everyone fucks off for the World Cup, and you're not back till Boxing Day. It's going to be a strange one.
Oh, there was a point I was going to make there, and it's just totally disappeared. Can't remember.
Right, let's get some chat. What about Daniel Fieler? Daniel Fieler is at. He's at Slavia Prague, isn't he? I think he's at Slavia Prague. I don't know. Is he a forward? I don't know who he is. Daniel. I think he's at Slavia Prague. If I know that, that's really impressive.
I thought it was just. I don't know if it was a taking the mick name.
No, he plays for Slavia Prague. He definitely plays for Slavia Prague. West Ham panics now. There's no need. Scott's already panicking. There you go. Minimum of 3 of 6 7. I trust Moyes I trust Moyes has 3 to 4 already ready to sign. I think he does. Honestly think he does. I think he does. But that's just me. Bare minimum I expect it's 18 million to spend. There we go. I guarantee you in next week news will come out there. We're going. There's maybe Dabs. Maybe
that is very typical West Ham, isn't it?
It's typical West Ham, isn't it? We look at Milenkovic when we were told that he was in Canary Wharf and he weren't. He may well have been. Who knows? When it gets near to the transfer window, I worry. I like getting transfers done quick and early. Other clubs snatching our targets, or maybe they're not our targets in the first place. We don't know. We don't genuinely know who our targets are. We know Aguerd. We're pretty sure that Naif Aguerd is a target. Is Moyes' because he was looking at him last year as well. It was him and Zuma, and he bought one of them last year, and he wants to buy the other one this year.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say to you. If you haven't already, Russ, and I don't know if you have, and anyone in the chat, check out Ben Foster on the Fozcaster.
Yeah, Foscast, yeah.
Yeah, Fozcast. And the one I'm listening to currently is about when he's already pre-announced that he's leaving Watford.
Yeah.
And he's going to be doing a kind of regular update on what it's going to be like life as a free agent, as a footballer. And it's the first time in his whole footballing career that he's a free agent. He's always been involved in transfer fees. So he's going to talk to you and talk to everyone and give them an update on what happens, how you start to promote yourself in the market. He's going to take a bit of time off, all that sort of stuff. But it's really, really interesting insight. And he's got in his head where he would like to be. And he kind of hints at where he'd like to be. And he says that he will be contacting people he knows at clubs to go, I will come and do this, I will come and do that.
Yeah.
So it's just a really interesting watch if you want to understand how the free transfer market works and what these players and where they'll end up in the end, you know.
It's really. And he did a good interview with Jared Bowen last week. So check that out.
Yeah.
An hour and a bit interview. Fair play to him. Daniela, have you all Lingard can go to Newcastle if those wage demands are true. We'll see what happens. Time to sod off. He went in 100 great plus 2 wins. Apparently, that's what happens.
This is another point. Sorry, I'm jumping in here from Irish Tommy.
Go for it.
We need to have most of our signings completed in time for pre-season training to integrate the new players ahead of the new season. This is what Ben Foster went on about. He said the big clubs like to do their business very early. Yeah. Man City, Haaland, the other lad that's coming from South America, bish bash bosh, done. And then they go away on their holidays, they come back and everyone gets ready to rock and roll. Yeah. And he says that so many other clubs in the Premier League don't do it. And then the question was asked to him, why? And he says they just like to take their time in finding the right player, whether that's down to the fact that they don't have access to money so they can afford a flop or they can't afford a flop.
Yeah.
And they've got to do the due diligence a little bit harder, even more harder, because they know they're not going to be in the market for the elite players. So I agree with you, Tommy. But I think in hindsight, I think in the realistic world, we would want that done. But if we're chasing a free transfer, we're probably one of 10 teams. I mean, West Ham are not the only people in negotiations with Jesse Lingard.
No.
There's probably 10 teams. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
And there's probably teams that are in the queue thinking, I'm not going to ask because I don't want to get a knockback. But I may ask and just see what happens. You know, there must be loads in for players like him. And it'll be the same for the rest of the free transfers as well. So ideally, I would love that. I would love that Moyes is standing there with 5 quality players when we announce the new kits. Yeah. But we all know that's not going to happen.
No, I think you're right. I think it's. I think I think not saying anyone in the chat at all, but when we assume we need if we should be getting these players, we should be getting. But you're right. We're in a market with another 19 clubs in Europe. Say, okay, take out the greedy 6. So we're in a market with maybe half a dozen to 10 clubs who will be, pitching with us as well. The likes of, it literally reads as like a copy and paste. It's always West Ham, Villa and Newcastle. That's usually the 3, plus maybe Everton. And then, Southampton want to get involved. Brentford want to get involved. Forest are looking at players now. They'll be ambitious. So we are going to be competing with these clubs. And so it's going to be difficult, even for the free transfer market, to try and we may have to, people do have to. I mean, look at Villa. Villa have trumped Atletico Madrid to Kamara because they're paying 180 grand a week. I guarantee Atletico Madrid would probably offer him maybe 100 grand, maybe 110. You know what I mean? So I think it's really difficult in that situation because we do want to be competing, but then we don't want to pay for the nose as well. Well, then unfortunately, I think sometimes you're going to have to get these players over the line. We would have had to. The fact is, we do have European football the potential for European football this year, which is a good thing for some people on the shop window, but it's really tricky. It's going to be really tricky, and I think there's going to be some winners and losers this year. And I don't think hopefully we're not going to be one of those losers. But you're right, someone like Jesse Lingard, Jose Mourinho could get him for Roma, and Inter Milan, they're looking at him as well. So it's not just us versus Newcastle. I would be surprised if fucking Villa having a shout for him. Everton have a shout for him. It's going to be so many clubs after him. That is not even including Spain. They could get, they maybe did Mark Kamara. They might want to go for Jesse Lingard, Atletico Madrid now. They were talking about looking at him. There we go. You see, Roma. It's really hard. It's really hard to get a transfer over the line. And I know other clubs do it. But the flip side is we're all laughing at Villa because they're spending a lot of money, but they're getting the transfers done. So as you said, it's a calculated risk, isn't it? Really.
Villa are going to go bankrupt with the new signings.
They could easily, if they don't get European football this year, then they will be. They'll be up street quick without paddle.
Do we think we'll sign any new players for the under-23s?
Yes. Yeah. I think we'll sign the guy. I mean, I spoke about this guy from Ipswich today. What's his name? Tawandi Chiiwa, who is the second youngest debutant for Ipswich Town. Exciting midfielder. And has been tearing up for the under-23s. I think yesterday I did one for Cameron Cooper from Partick Thistle. Moyes look. I mean, we signed obviously Marshall from Linfield was it January? We signed him.
Yeah.
So we are. So I think they are looking at bringing in these players to improve the 23s. With a view, obviously. I mean, Marshall's been banging him for the 18s.
Well, listen. I think that's the thing, though. Like we done it last year. And it's worked wonders because it's given the players that were there the ability to look over their shoulder and go, shit, we've got really good quality coming in. Equa, Okoflex, just to name a few who turned up and done a job. So it's always going to be good for them to come around. But I think, I do think I think we're looking at that boy from Kilmarnock, like you said, the boy from Partick Thistle, boy at Ipswich. We're going to be looking to snap up the best young talents that's around. I think there's a few other clubs that have started doing a lot more of that now, actually. So I don't think we're going to be the only ones. I think you might see some interesting fees take place for under-23 players because other people.
Well, I mean, you look at the whole thing with Sonny Perkins. Villa and Everton are looking at him. No, Leeds. It was Villa and Leeds, wasn't it? And to be honest, he's 18. He's played a bit. Yeah, he's made a couple of first team run-ons. But and they're already sniffing around for him. I don't think it's a finished article. I think there's a reason. Again, Moyes is. Everyone says, Moyes is. Well, at the end of the day, he hasn't had a bad track record with people he's got rid of. There was the whole, and it was sort of around his time was the whole Ngakia situation. He's done fuck all at Watford. Then there's Grady Diangana when he went. He's done fuck all since we sold him to West Brom. So there hasn't been. I mean, Haller was obviously, but it wasn't really a youngster. But
he's done fucking everything.
He's done fucking everything. But but do you know what I mean? It's like it's they've got a scouting network, they've got an academy network full of players, full of ex-players, full of very good football people, all the way through the and they'll make honest decisions on players. And if Sonny Perkins does go somewhere else. The rumour is either his head's been, he wants more money, or he doesn't think he's going to get into the first team. Well, he's probably not going to get into the first team because people want to buy a striker, to compete with Antonio. Well, actually,
there's probably the dithering, Dave, because I think there's been several times this season that we've either been up or been needing a goal, and there's been 15 minutes to go, and you're looking at the bench and you're thinking, Sonny Perkins is there, Okoflex is there, they're banging in goals for under 23s. Give them a shot, because to be honest with you, when Sonny Perkins has played, I have been impressed with him.
Yeah,
I have actually been quite impressed with him. I think he makes really good runs into the box. He nearly had that header. Was that against was that Zagreb in the first game?
Yeah,
at Zagreb in the Europa League.
Yeah,
was it against Zagreb or was it? Against
Vienna? I think it was Zagreb. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he looks like he's got good potential to like a good finisher. Okoflex we've not seen in the first team, but we've seen him being tearing it up in the under 23s. We got rid of Tony Martinez. Look where he's at now. He's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing well at Porto. He's had to go a couple of places, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So until he's got there, and arguably he wouldn't have done that at West Ham. Yeah. But I think with the under 23s as well. I mean, we had Patsy Holland on a couple of weeks ago, and he spoke to David and Moisey about the kids. And I think the fact is, because the under-23 setup, the league setup is not that great compared to the old reserve leagues. These players aren't progressing to a level that quickly from the under-23s because, you're not. And at the end of the day, football is such a situation now that maybe he does stick with the players he knows rather than necessarily throws in a Sonny Perkins where maybe rather than the Yarmolenko. And there's been loads of times we'd rather have seen Okaflex come on than Yarmolenko, but he's put Yarmolenko on. There's a reason for that. It's not like he doesn't. It's because he trusts and maybe the development of. But then the other flip side is, well, how are these players going to develop if you don't throw them in? So it's like this little double-edged sword, really, isn't it? It's a really strange one. But I mean, look at even if Leeds, even if Sonny Perkins goes to Villa, he's not going to replace Watkins. He's not going to replace Danny Ings. If he goes to Leeds, he's not going to replace Bamford. So it's like, well, surely you're going to be in the same position. Yeah. The same position. Villa, they've got Ramsey who's come through the youth system. That's it. Yeah. That's all I can think of. Yeah. Everyone else they bought him. So, I don't really see it. I'll take the rest of the week off. I like it. I still do think that, the whole Aguerd transfer will be announced. As I said, when we did the third kit reveal, the purple kit, and at the end they tagged on the fact that we'd made our record signing. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, it's a nice kit, but we've signed Hilaire.
And do you want to know something really funny as well, Russ, about that particular video? I had the notifications on, so when it came through, I watched it. But I didn't watch it to the end because I saw enough with 10 seconds to go. I saw, there's a strip.
That's quite
cool.
Nice.
There's 10 seconds to go. Nah, I'm not going to watch it. Put it down, and then the phone went nuts, literally within seconds.
Yeah.
So Hilaire signed what? It's at the end of the video. Oh fuck! Really? Shit. Oh fuck! Let's go back in and watch the fucking thing again. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, I love it.
Movie, it's like that movie when people leave before the credits. And
and you've got like the Easter egg at the end. Yeah. I took Joe to see Top Gun Maverick yesterday, and Flo could come because it was a 12A, and I booked tickets to see it in 4DX. Which is where you sort of sit on the seats and the seats move and like the wind and like you get wet and all that type of stuff. And straight up, Joe was almost sick on the way home with motion sickness. So there's me and Flo. Like enough of the story. I want to see more dogfights. So because then we're like, fuck, you're like honestly brilliant. Great film, but in a 4DX was a fucking hilarious. And Joe was just like green. Oh, it was so funny. I just had to get it off my chest. All the time about Perkins, but he has to prove it first, not just score for under-23s. Yeah, totally right, Mandy. You're totally right. And I think there is a gulf between the under-23s and playing in the first team, and it's that gulf is a lot bigger than it was 5-6 years ago, I reckon.
Yeah. Yep.
Just where it is.
Of course, I'm having a laugh. 21.
CFC
21
Blues.
mil. 21.
Yeah, 21. 21, and we can't even give you Yarmolenko now.
A dildo.
So it's Friday night.
It's Friday
fantastic
night.
Film. It is. It's fantastic. It's very good. Guys,
Dan,
I PM'd up in bed. Not been sober since relegation. Love you, great cute. Cheers, mate. Thank you much. Great day, you all, man. Good luck next season, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I said,
shit, man, we won't be on. We won't be able to have you on. Well, unless we do our cup. That's what we'll do.
Unless we do a cup.
Dan.
Oh, what a shame. Sorry. We'll get you on anyway. We get you on and see him when we announce the signing of Brownhill, Josh Brownhill, Cornet, Tarkowski, and Nick Pope as well. It's always the way. Buy a relegated goalkeeper. We did that last time, didn't we, with Fabianski? But anyway, I hope sometimes a change is as good as a rest is as good as a change, but it could be the other way around. Loads of youngsters in there, and you'll be back up. Soon. Chelsea got 40 million for Brozier. Would not pay 40 million without Brozier. No. At all. You'll now be my claret. Oh, lucky. Good. Well, he's claret and blue. Us and Aston Villa, so well done, mate. Commiserations. I do believe under 23 he's starting preliminary rounds against teams in the conference. Well, that's the thing, Martin. I think they will do. I can see that happening, but maybe not initially. It's almost like we did this year when we got to a situation where we'd already qualified for the group. The next round, we'd won the group. Then he played the kids in a sort of dead rubber game. And I think similarly next season, if we get drawn against more slightly easier opponents in the cup games, you will see more under 23s. I think you just will. It's just, I mean, we spoke about it before. When Moyes was in charge, and we had Charlton and Hull last season, the season before, full of the under 23s.
Yeah,
full of them,
definitely. Yeah, the whole game in particular was I know there was different competitiveness, but. Yeah. It was really nice to be able to watch a lot of the young boys make the step up, and that was one of the games where Alessi was really on fire. He does excite me, so I don't know, mate.
He does.
We'll have to wait and see. What Moyes does.
We'll have to wait and see. But as I said, make sure tomorrow, tomorrow, Anton's done a little video about Conor Gallagher.
Why West Ham should sign
Conor Gallagher. West Ham should sign. Not saying we're going to sign him, but why we should sign him. It's like we have to preface everything like that. Oh, you said we're going to sign him, but he's gone to Bournemouth. No, we're just saying why we should sign him. If we lose our playoff game, are we out? Yes, we are. 2-legged playoff game, and if we lose that, we're not in the conference this season. There we go. Yeah. If you had to choose Areola or Pope, well, if money was no object, I'll be honest. If money was no object, I'd probably say Pope. I honestly probably would. I know you'd say Areola, but I would say Pope. Just because, for me...
I would say Areola. Yeah,
I know that's why I said I know you'd say Areola, but I would say Pope. And that's why we're great, because sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. Yeah. But I think Pope, for me, because it's the England thing, and it's a Declan Rice thing, and Declan Rice likes him, and he says he's a great goalkeeper, and he's a good goalkeeper, and I think he has more Premier League experience. That's just me. And I like the way with Pope, they both command their area quite well, but obviously he had an absolute storming game when he came down to us. Ad loves a good Areola. You're totally right, my friend. But there's not much. Yeah, you're right. Not much between the two of them. I'll have none of them. I want Roberto back. I think he's available on a free transfer. I think someone mentioned the other day. Right, well, let's go get some sleep, mate.
Yes, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing about that.
What have you got? Buzzing about some sleep. I've got to...
no, I really am. I genuinely am, actually, because I was up a few times last night with the little man. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, I've got a street party to go to tomorrow, so...
well, we had one today.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. No, I've got a street party tomorrow, of which I am emceeing at.
Co-emceeing.
I'm proper emceeing. Not like, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. No. So, yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow in Upminster. All West Ham fans apparently live in the road, so they're very, captive audience. Right. Anyway, guys, as I said, make sure you check it. What are you?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we've got the show coming out tomorrow, and then I think Sunday, unless something happens, there probably won't be anything out on Sunday.
No, probably not.
And we'll be back on the wheel again Monday, moving forward. But we do have a membership on the channel. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, you can click that link that's in the chat. Please do. I think myself and Russ are kind of having a chat about what we're going to be bringing to the channel. We're doing monthly draws, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll be doing that. So, we're doing that next week, so you've got the weekends to think about whether you want to become a member. And then
we'll tell them what the last member won.
Yeah, the last member won a signed West Ham team shirt.
Yeah, with a certificate of authenticity.
Authenticity. Yeah, and the winner this month will be winning a signed Machiavelli Tony Cotti print.
Yeah.
Signed by the duo, and we do it every month, and so we've got so obviously we have one for June and we have one for July. So as well as supporting the channel, you get entered into a free draw.
Yeah.
Basically, it's to say it's a raffle, but to say thank you to you guys. And as I said, next week we should have Tim Breaker on to do a live Q&A. I think Thursday. I think I penciled that in with Tim, and we'll probably do the next one for what's the name? The next keep, sell, and loan. We'll do the attackers and midfielders next week sometime. Probably Tuesday night, maybe.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday night, So
and also, we only hit 12,000 subscribers the other night. I think it was like 2 nights ago, was it? I don't even know.
Something like that, yeah.
And we're already up 125 since then.
Yeah,
so
it's brilliant.
Yeah, so if you are new, I'm watching the live subscriber count actually, and I'm intrigued to see if it works. So go for it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that subscription button right now, because I'm actually sitting watching it and I'd be intrigued to see if it jumps up whilst we are live on.
Might take.
So if you are watching, hit that subscribe button, please. Oh, there you go. There you go. I don't need to do it. There you go. We'll push for. It'd be good if we could get 5 more. 5 more while we're live on the screen.
5 more. That's
5
really
more new
sad.
subscribers.
I love it. Breaking news: West Ham signed Marco Boogers on a free. Good old Marco. Obviously England tomorrow, innit? Bowen and Rice could both start tomorrow. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Absolutely amazing. Mahusiv indeed.
And I think what Jared Bowen offers England is something that they've not had for such a long time. The ability to cover any real position, and he's a real threat from all these positions as well. So it's good on him. And I think it's going to really him being in that setup is only but going to boost them. And hopefully help West Ham.
It will be. It'd be awesome, man. Be awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Okie dokie.
We've lost a subscriber. We've lost one. We've lost a subscriber. Live on the screen.
Live on the screen. Who's someone's pissed off our idea. We've gone down to 1, 2, 4. Love it. Bong, was that you, James Bong? Quite possibly. Anyway, guys,
It's back up.
Is it?
Yeah, it's coming up. Mine's up. Yeah, there you go. Look, see, it's up.
We've gone back up. There we go.
Someone's messing about with this.
Someone has pressed it twice. There we go. Unbelievable. Right, guys. Well, anyway, have a great rest of the bank holiday weekend. Someone keeps calling it. What was it? Platty Jubes. Oh, fucking annoys me. Platty Jubes.
Plat jubes.
Anyway, I don't like that. As I said, we'll be back. We'll be back on Monday, and then it's a Conor Gallagher video tomorrow. Then we're back on Monday with a daily show and Hammers headlines. And as I said, we've got another episode of Keep, Sell, and Loan. We've got Timmy Breaker next week as well in the evening. So loads of cool stuff as always. Anyway, peeps, as I said, thank you, everyone. That's been fun. Sometimes I like just randomly coming on and just having a giggle. Yeah. And we've done that. But anyway, take care, everyone.
CFC Blues, you're not getting Declan Rice. We're signing Broja. And we're signing Gallagher for 15 mil. Happy days.
Bargain. And on that bombshell, we're going to go. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay lucky. Stay cheeky. Stay positive. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Ciao, ciao for now.
Ciao.
It's like a family tree, all of you.